Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 3 of the Wildcard Draw. I'm your host, Matty Egan. What an episode we've got. We're going to talk about 3i Atlas. But before we get into that, I just want to explain that as a child, I was always obsessed with space, the universe, planets, and movies like Star Wars, as well as Star Trek. For me, I was a Next Generation kid. I loved Captain Jean-Luc Picard and his crew, and I loved the USS Enterprise and the technology they had. So what sparked all this and what's got me so excited? We've got an interstellar visitor coming in by the name of 3i Atlas. And as you've all been going through your social media platforms, I'm sure that you've seen something like this. Scientists warn that aliens could invade Earth as early as November of this year. And that's because some scientists are saying that this comet has a cloaking device and is potentially an alien civilization that wants to attack us. So they don't come in peace. What I wanted to do was give you the facts. And this episode's going to go through what NASA have said, what 3i Atlas is, what does it mean, and what's actually happening right now. Is there any sort of justification that there are aliens coming? No, they're just theories. Would I love the idea of aliens coming and giving first contact with a human species and planet Earth? Absolutely I would, so long as they come in peace, so long as they're giving us technology where we can eliminate currency and we can work together as a human race and destroy poverty and world hunger and have no need for wars and get rid of nuclear bombs where we could potentially use them on each other. I'd love that. But is that going to happen? Probably not. But could we learn a little bit more about the Big Bang and how we all got here and how the stars and planets formed? Yes, definitely. And maybe we could have or see new elements go on the chart. There's plenty to be excited about in this episode. And a little bit later on, I'm going to give us a bit of a movie preview that was sort of in line with what's all happening and how I think that it can sort of blend in nicely to finish this episode. So, grab your popcorn and get excited. Let's learn about 3i Atlas. Alright, let's break this down nice and simple. 3i Atlas is a name given to what's officially been confirmed by NASA as an interstellar comet, meaning it's come from outside our solar system. It was first picked up by the Atlas Observatory, which is a sky survey system in Hawaii, but they also have one in Chile. And Chile was where it was actually first found on July 1st, 2025. The 3i part stands for third interstellar object ever discovered, after Oumuamua in 2017 and Borisov in 2019. So yeah, this isn't something that we see every day. NASA has confirmed that it is in fact a comet, so not a spaceship, not a rock, not a hoax. Right now, it's coming in at a trajectory that will bring it into our solar system, but it's still incredibly far away at the time of this recording. Based on the early data and what NASA's been able to pick up, this thing is loaded with ice, rock, and possibly metal, which is typical of a comet. It's also giving off a visible tail. In some way, regular comets do this when the sun starts heating them up, and then the ice begins to evaporate. The tail is made up of gas and dust, and this is one of the key reasons why we're able to study these things, because it tells scientists what the object is made of. Now, at this stage, scientists are saying that the comet is on a flyby trajectory. It's not expected to hit Earth, and it's still being tracked closely to understand its path. But the big story here isn't about danger, it's about discovery. This is only the third time in human history we've confirmed that something from deep interstellar space has entered our solar system. And just like the others before it, 3i Atlas could give us real clues about how the universe was formed, what's floating between the stars, and maybe it could even tell us if life does exist elsewhere. So here's where we're at. NASA's confirmed it's real. It's coming in from outside our solar system, and it's being monitored closely. Later in the episode, we'll get into some of the more controversial stuff, like alien spacecraft theories and what some scientists think it isn't adding up. But for now, let's just give you a basic rundown of what 3i Atlas actually is and why everyone's watching it. So what exactly have scientists seen so far? Well, this thing's moving fast, and I mean really fast. 3i Atlas is currently travelling at over 60 kilometres per second. That's more than 200,000 kilometres per hour. To put that into perspective, it's moving about 200 times faster than a speeding bullet. That alone got people's attention. But then came the size. Early observations suggest it's a few kilometres wide, possibly larger. Big enough to be seen with strong telescopes, but not big enough to be considered dangerous, at least not yet. But here's where things get weird. When astronomers first locked eyes on it, it didn't look like a comet. Usually, comets start to heat up as they get close to the sun. They glow, they sprout a dusty tail, they look active. But this one, nothing. No bright coma, no tail, just a quiet object from deep space slipping through like a ghost. Then, almost out of nowhere, it started to change. A faint tail appeared, it began to brighten, but not in the usual way. It was starting to behave like a typical icy rock from the outer reaches of the solar system. It was different. NASA and others are still saying it's probably just an unusual comet. And hey, they could be very well true. But the truth is, we haven't seen many interstellar objects up that close. So this one seems to be throwing us a bit of a curveball. So no, there's nothing to panic about, but this isn't just some regular visitor. This one's worth watching. To really understand why this is such a big deal, we've got to look back a bit. Until just a few years ago, we had never, not once, seen anything enter our solar system from deep space. Everything we tracked was orbiting the sun, like planets, moons, comets, and asteroids. Then in 2017, that all changed. Scientists spotted something strange flying past us. They called it Oumuamua. The name coming from Hawaiian word meaning scout. But this wasn't like anything we'd seen before. It didn't have a tail, it spun weirdly, and somehow changed speed. Almost like it was being pushed. But by what? No one could explain it. That kicked off a lot of theories, and some scientists saying that it was a probe from another civilization. Then in 2019, we had another visitor, 2i Borisov. This one looked a little bit more normal. It had a tail, it behaved more like a comet. Still, it came from outside our solar system, and that made it the second interstellar object ever recorded. Now in 2025, we've got 3i Atlas. That's the third interstellar object in just under a decade. Before 2017, we had none. Now we've got 3, all coming in quick succession. So what's going on? Are we getting better at spotting these things, and are our telescopes and technology getting better? Or is something else happening out there? That's what has scientists and a lot of curious minds paying very close attention. So here's where things start to feel a little bit off. When scientists first spotted 3i Atlas, it didn't act like a normal comet. It was dim, quiet, no glowing tail, nothing exciting. Then, out of nowhere, it suddenly brightened. Now, comets do get brighter as they get closer to the sun, because heat causes their ice to vaporize, and then it helps form a tail. But this one, it brightened too quickly, almost like something unexpected triggered it. Its spin is also hard to figure out. Usually, by watching how light reflects off a comet, scientists can tell how it's rotating. But with this one, the light's changing in weird ways, making it tricky to know what's actually going on inside. And let's not forget the speed. Over 60 kilometers per second. That's insanely fast. Way faster than most objects that naturally wander into our solar system. Now, to be clear, none of this is hard proofing of anything wild, but it is strange. It's not following the usual rules, it's different. And when something in space starts behaving differently, that's when scientists know, hey, this is something that we need to keep a close eye on. All right, let's get into the question that's probably already crossed your mind. Could this be more than just a comet? It's a big question, and not everyone takes it seriously. But some scientists, including well-respected ones, think it's worth asking. Back in 2017, when the first interstellar object, Oumuamua, passed through our solar system, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb suggested something wild. What if it wasn't just a rock? He pointed out that it didn't spin like normal. It reflected sunlight in weird ways, and it sped up, even though it had no tail, no gas, nothing pushing it. His theory, maybe, just maybe, it was a probe, something made from another civilization. Now, here we are in 2025, and we've got 3i Atlas acting a bit strange too. Sure, it could just be just a comet, a fast, weird, icy rock from deep space, but what if it isn't? Right now, there's no solid proof of anything alien. Scientists are just being careful, and that's how it should be. But at the same time, there's no solid answer either. And that's where the mystery lives. It keeps us curious. It reminds us how little we actually know about what's out there. And maybe, just maybe, it's not a comet after all. I hope that was informative. I hope it was easy to understand. And hopefully now you've got a better understanding about 3i Atlas and what to expect when it comes through our solar system. I wanted to finish this episode with a preview to a movie that I've enjoyed watching, and I've watched it more than once, and I do love the score or soundtrack that goes with it. It goes back to 2002. It's based off a novel that was written by a Polish author back in the 60s, and this was the second remake of the actual film. It was directed by Steven Soderbergh, produced by James Cameron, the main actors being George Clooney and Natasha Mitchell-Hone. Hopefully you can enjoy this film, which marries up a little bit with the actual theories of what we can expect when we do make contact with aliens and some of the strange things that we can expect that are outside there in the universe. I've decided to do a film review on the back end of this episode because I think it really does give us a reflection into what's actually going through our thoughts right now. Is this real? Or is this just a figment of our imagination? The stories we tell ourselves when we're faced with something unknown. Now, the comet 3i Atlas is very real. It's out there, racing through the stars. But the idea of alien life, probes, higher intelligence, those things, they're still in the realm of maybe. But I reckon this movie, Solaris, is a great little hidden gem of cinematic talent. As I speak right now, you're hearing the amazing soundtrack by Cliff Martinez. Out of everything I've experienced while learning about astronomy and astrophysics, from documentaries to lectures to sky-watching nights, this score, more than anything else, feels like the sound of space to me. I know it sounds a bit silly, but in my imagination, this is what drifting through the universe would feel like. Cold, beautiful, haunting, and full of mystery. After this little segment, we'll wrap up the episode with the official trailer to the movie, but first, here's why Solaris is something worth watching. Solaris is a film about space, yes, but it's more about what happens inside us when we come face to face with something we don't understand. In this story, a psychologist named Chris Kelvin is sent into space orbiting a planet called Solaris. The planet isn't just rock and ice, it's something alive. A huge, strange ocean-like force that doesn't speak or make demands. It just watches. And it watches you. It recreates your memories. For Kelvin, this means seeing his dead wife again. Not just a ghost or a dream, but a physical, living version of her, maybe entirely by the planet. She remembers things, she feels things, but she also knows she's not real. And that makes it heartbreaking. The movie doesn't just throw aliens or explosions at you, it whispers questions. If you could see someone you lost again, would you want to? If you knew it wasn't really them, could you let it go? What would you fear more, the unknown out there or ghosts inside us. The film plays slowly, it breathes, it doesn't rush to answers, but there aren't any, just like with 3i Atlas. It reminds us that space doesn't owe us explanations. It just is, and we have to figure it out and how to live with the mystery. So, if you're the type of person who likes big questions wrapped in a beautiful music and quiet moments, Solaris might just hit that way that you didn't expect it to. Up next, as promised, the trailer to the 2002 film Solaris. Thanks for listening. This has been episode 3, The Wildcard Draw. I'm Matty Egan. See you next time.
When you want to get hitched? If you keep putting this off, 15 or 20 years, I'm just going to stop asking. You know, you're with the right man.
Your wife. She's dead. She's dead.
How did you get here?
I love you so much. What's wrong?
That's not your wife. You're dreaming her.
She's alive.
You found me.
I came for you. This is my chance.
You don't know what you're in for. Go back. Go back to Earth. You'll die here.
You're being manipulated. We are not taking her with us.
Are you gonna stop me from taking her back?